you?
How are
Good to
you?
see you.
Okay, we are live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, as well as Instagram. Hello, everyone, and welcome to
Thank
this,
you for the hearts.
yes, live at 5. And we are going to do some technical adjustments here. Bear with us. Come on in. As you come
Come on
into the
into the
room, everyone,
room.
bring your pad, your tablet, your pencil, any device that you may have. Trinette, you may need the other earplug. I hear an echo.
Yeah, I hear it too.
Juana, are you hearing us very well? Let us know if you can hear us. Good to see you both. Good to see you, my sister. Thank you very much. We are going to get started because we have a lot to talk about on today. And we're going to begin with a disclaimer. We are not doctors. We do not practice as doctors. God knows I am not a doctor, but we have someone joining us today on the gifting table broadcast, one that is well known in our community. She's been here before, and she's as close to a doctor that a doctor could ever be. I'm talking about, you all have been talking about asking to bring her back, the one and only Coach Trinette Stanford. Welcome again to the gifting table broadcast.
Well,
We are
thank you.
we are so elated that you found it in your schedule to be with us on today.
Okay, well, it's
I
good.
see a message here, and I'm trying to read this message, and we're going to just go through it and do what we do best and see what happens at the end, as we
Okay.
always do. So we're going to get started with a few things. And as you continue, like I said, bring your pad, your pencil, tablet, whatever device you use to write, take notes on, because Coach Trinette has questions, answers, you name it, tools, strategies, even questions for you to take to your physician. She's going to give it all to you. So prepare yourself. And our topic for today is totally about diabetes.
Okay.
Here we go. Here we go. Yes, we are ready. And we're going to ask you, Coach Trinette, if you can give us a brief bio about who you are, what you're doing right now today that will help the people move forward in living a healthier lifestyle. And what all the initials behind your name, what do they mean? So someone like myself do not have no knowledge of medical terminology. You can enlighten all of us on today.
Okay. Ready?
Yes, ma'am. It's
All
all
right.
yours.
Okay, very good. And as Worth Beanologist said, my name is Trinette Stanford, and I am a nurse practitioner. And that alphabet soup behind my name, the FNP is Family Nurse Practitioner, and the C behind it means I'm certified. I've been doing that for over 30 years. So I'm new. I'm not new to this. I have been doing this for a long time. The MSN is I have a master's degree, master's prepared. And the CDCES, and that's totally new. I am a diabetes educator. So a few years ago, the association decided that they wanted to expand our name because we do more than just diabetes education. So that the CDCES, Certified Diabetes Care and Education Specialist. So that's what all that alphabet soup means. So, what am I doing now? What I do is provide people with information. I help, I coach, I advise people on how to take care of themselves in order to improve their health. Now, I want to take this in another vein because this is Black History Month. And to put everything in alignment with Black History Month, I want us to be aware of what Black history affect how Black history affects us as our health is concerned. Because some of the problems that we have, if a little bit of my background, I was born and raised in Indiana. I'm a northerner. And I ended up in Alabama because years ago um, they started a rural health program, rural health initiative, because people in the rural communities did not have access to health care. So that opened up a whole new venue. So that's how I got recruited to move down to Alabama to open up primary health care clinics in order to provide health care for the people in the rural communities. And that has still been a problem, not so much in the rural communities, but in the Black communities. There are people that have problems with access to health care. And because of having that limited access to health care, not just access to regular health care, but access to quality health care, because there's a lot of issues that go on when you go see a doctor. How many people go to the doctor and they complain that they go in, they stay about 5 minutes and they walk out and they don't understand anything that has happened or anything that has gone on? And that has been a big problem. And some of the issues that we have is, number one, that there's a big distrust of the healthcare in, um, in the medical community from in the Black community, because they said they don't understand or they don't know or they don't care. The other problem is there's a disconnect in communication between the provider and the patient, you the patient. And a lot of it is, a lot of times the provider may be talking up here and you're not understanding it and not taking time to explain what's going on. So I saw that problem and I was part of that problem for a while until I realized that my patients weren't understanding what I was talking about. So that's when I really worked at breaking everything down to where they understood what was going on with them. And then that way they can really start taking better care of themselves. So, the big problem as far as diabetes is concerned, we had the issue of the country being shut down a couple of years ago because of the pandemic. But we've had this pandemic of diabetes for a long time. There are over 34 million people in the United States with diabetes. 13% of those people are people of color. All right. Then the other problem is, and these are 2018, 2017 numbers, non-Hispanic Blacks are twice as likely to die from diabetes as anybody else, as their counterparts. And usually, and when you look at the death certificate, it does not have diabetes as a cause of death. It may have a heart attack, it may have a stroke, it may have kidney failure. It could be a number of things, but it doesn't have diabetes. But diabetes is the underlying problem that caused those additional health problems. Also, Blacks are 3.2 times more likely to die from end stage renal disease. Think about it. How many people do you know personally that's on dialysis? And that is a direct cause of diabetes, of uncontrolled diabetes. And then the last one, no, there's two more. One of them is lower limb amputation. 2.3 times is likely to be in the hospital for a lower limb amputation. 9 times out of 10, when you see people with an amputation, it's because of diabetes. And then the last one is visual impairment. People, 27.2% of people of color have loss of vision because of diabetes, of uncontrolled diabetes. So that's why I am still passionate about helping people to understand what's going on in their bodies so they can better take care of themselves, to bring it to their understanding, to say, okay, there's some changes that we need to make in order to help take care of yourselves. Now, there's some risk factors that we have that are that have caused these problems. One of the risk factors, well, I'll list them out. Weight is number one, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, smoking, a sedentary lifestyle where there's not much movement around. Also, there's some others that I added, our habits and traditions and our cultures. Those things have caused some issues in our health. And there are some things that we can address, that we can make changes in ourselves at home in order to improve our numbers, in order to improve our conditions. Yesterday, I went with a client to the doctor in order to find out what was going on with her. And I was talking about sometimes there's a disconnect that you don't understand. So the doctor looked at her list of medicines and said, okay, you're taking this, 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 and this. And then she looked at her labs. She didn't like her cholesterol. So she said, we're going to increase your dose of your cholesterol medicine. And I said, wait a minute. I said, have you been taking your cholesterol medicine? Do you take it every day? And she said, well, not really. So that is the issue. A lot of time, the doctor assumes because the medicine is on the list that you're taking it. And so she was getting ready to increase her dose of medicine because she felt that it wasn't effective, and the problem was she wasn't taking it. So how many times does that happen? And think about it, and so that's why I said we have to have a frank conversation with our providers. Gone is the day of where you go into the doctor and you sit there and you just nod your head and let them say anything and order something, and then you walk out and not understanding anything. The key is client provider engagement. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Client provider engagement. You need to talk. It needs to be a discussion back and forth between you and your provider. The two of you need to talk to each other. They need to understand where you are, and they need to understand where you are, and you need to understand what's going on with them. Because when that happens, a lot of times your condition will improve. All right? So, one clue is to make sure that you are being honest and forthright with your provider. Make sure that you have a provider that you can talk to, because sometimes you may have to fire the one that you have, because if they're not listening to you, if they're not paying attention to you, then you may need to find one that will pay attention to you, that is listening to you. All right. So I will, there's some other things that we need to discuss in order to help with our healthcare to improve it. And that is my goal. That's what I would like to see during this Black History Month, that we will improve our health.
Coach Trinette, you had said so much. And I know they heard you on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, as well as Instagram. But let me just iterate some things because this is a hit home topic for me. I had 2 deaths in 2020. Both had diabetes. However, there were other health issues going on at the same time. And you said, if I'm not mistaken, that you may think or start out with diabetes, but if you do not take care of yourself, and you gave some examples, and I would like for you to repeat some of the symptoms when one feels that they are not, something is wrong. Okay. And unfortunately, we the people suffer in silence. We do not tell our loved ones what's going on with our health, whether it's diabetes, a sickness, mental health, whatever the case may be. And it's a sad, sad situation. But I like to you hit home. I like to say and reiterate about the doctor visits. Number one, when they feel that something is wrong, they should immediately call the doctor, schedule an appointment, and show up. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. And number two, you said, do not hesitate explaining to the doctors what is wrong, what symptoms you are experiencing. And it's very important that you do that because, number one, the doctor doesn't know what's going on with you until you share it. You're paying insurance. You are paying their salary. It's very important that they know. They cannot treat you correctly if they do not know what's going on. Now, some may misdiagnose or some may diagnose, but you have to go in with particular questions. And I will allow Coach Trinette to even share with you. So write these questions down that you need to ask the doctor so that you both can be on one accord, whether it's taking medication. And yes, I hear you, faith believers. Oh, I'm going to pray about it. But while you're praying about it and you're confessing that you are healed, take your medication. Take your medication. Am I right, Coach?
You're right. I am not against medications. Now, medications are not magic pills. All right. You have to work along with it. What I teach are lifestyle change behaviors. And those lifestyle changes work with the medicine in order to improve your health. And there may come a time when you can come off of that medicine. But until that time comes, you need to take the medicine as it's prescribed. All right. So you asked a question. Are you ready for me to answer those questions? Or
Yes. I would like for you to share with our listeners, and we see that Terry SM ITH
Terry
has
Smith?
joined us. Is it Terry Smith? Okay. Hi,
Hi,
Terry. How are you? And anyone else that is joining us that we cannot see, there's a name above her name. Hello to our IG listeners. But yes, I would like for you to give them some questions to ask the doctor. And some of these questions may or may not relate to diabetes, but you need to know to go in the doctor's office with a pad and a pen, a couple of pens. Ask questions so that you can be educated. And I'm going to end with this and allow Coach Trinette to share with you some of the questions, but also make sure you get a printout after every visit. Am I right? I see you
Yes.
nodding your head.
Hmm.
And why is it that they need that printout? Let's start with the printout, and then you can share with the listeners some of the questions that they need to ask. Please share.
Okay, a printout is very important because then that way you will know exactly what the doctor has documented in your chart, because his documentation will ensure that the insurance company will pay. All right. What they document will determine how the insurance company will pay, if there's any other test that's required, if there's any other referrals that's required. There has to be supporting documentation in that chart. So that that printout will provide transparency of what happened or what transpired during the visit. Well, in this day and age, most offices have electronic medical records, and most offices ask you, they that you can request to sign up for the patient portal, and the patient portal is a software which gives you access to their chart, and so you're able to go in and see what is going on, and it's an easier way or a quicker way in order to get information, and especially if you're going to more than one doctor. Like I said, I went to the doctor with a patient yesterday. She had gone to primary care to get her labs and went to a specialist yesterday. So she had the patient portal pulled up with her lab work on it so she could show it to the specialist that she saw. So that is the importance of it. That helps with the transparency and to keep you current and aware of what's going on. One, I always recommend that you need to write down everything, especially if you have high blood if you have high blood pressure, you're checking your blood pressure at home, write it down. Every time you check your blood pressure, write it down along with the date and time. If you are checking your blood sugar, write it down with the date and time. If you are feeling some kind of way, if you're having some bad symptoms, if you're having a reaction to medicine, if you're having some some kind of unease or things, write it down, because by the time you get to the doctor's office, you'll forget. You won't keep it in your head, but if you write it down with the date and time, number one, that will help trigger your memory, and number two, that helps the provider with their documentation. They don't have to figure out, okay, what am I going to write about this patient? When you go in with that information, you are helping them with their work, but at the same time it's providing supporting documentation, and just in case, say like you having some kind of adverse effect and you need to have some tests ordered, then the insurance company will approve that test, as opposed to, well, we're not going to approve that test because there's nothing in your chart to say that you need it. And they will do that. Okay. So that's why it's important that you be open and honest with your provider and let them know what is going on. Be open and honest with them. Tell them what you're feeling, how you're feeling. And the other thing is, we talked about medicines. Providers, a lot of times, they don't think they have this, they're in a mode and they're ordering medicines. If you don't have insurance or your insurance is not that great and it doesn't cover certain medicines, you need to let your provider know, because they can order a medicine and you get to the pharmacy and they'll tell you that that medicine's $250 and you say there is just no way in the world I can afford that medicine, and you don't get it. So you go back to your next visit and they'll look at you and say, well, wait a minute, this medicine isn't working. They're thinking, okay, I ordered this medicine and your blood pressure should be down or your blood sugar should be better. You neglect to tell them that you didn't get the medicine filled. All right. They're going under the assumption that you're taking the medicine they ordered, whereas you did not take it. The other thing is you let them know, I can't afford that medicine. So if you cannot afford a medicine, call the office and let them know, because they have samples in their closet. There are prescription programs through different pharmaceutical companies where you can apply in order to get the medicine at a discount. And then there's all kinds of discount prescription programs also. So there's options. There are options for you in order to get the care that you need.
You said something, Coach Trinette. When it comes to your prescriptions, as Coach said, do not look at it or go to the the pharmacy and say, "Oh, I can't afford this. I can't take it." There are some places, and I do not, Worthbianology Group LLC, do not receive any kickback on what I am about to say to you. But if your prescription is filled out, the doctor call it in. If you are a member, and I do know for sure, if you are a member of the wholesale store that begins with C, and that's all I'm going to say, capital C, that does a lot of business, wholesale store, you all, guess what? They have a plan. If you are a member there, I don't know what it's like at the other wholesale stores, but I do know the C store, they have a plan for members that will give you a discount that works better. Don't write me no letters, nobody, not even insurance companies. Do not write me any letters. But they will give you a better discount. I know it as a case study. I know it as facts. Yes, we have to pay for insurance because they say we have to pay for this insurance, right? However, if your budget doesn't allow you to pay hundreds of dollars for medication, and you know you need that medication, become a member of some place, store, wholesale store that allows or give a discount.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to Coach Trinette, I'm going to give you the mic because, like I said, case study with me, been there, done that, and experiencing it. So I just want to help our people. Yes. If you have more questions, please share with them what questions they should ask their doctor when they go into the doctor's office. And that was good, what you shared about writing it down, because we do not remember. We can have the symptoms 10 minutes before going to the doctor, and it depends on how much pain you're in. And also, you are a preventive nurse practitioner. So if you can share what you do and how you can help others, We would truly, truly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Like I said, I teach, I guide, whatever the word you can call it, people to use lifestyle changes in order to improve their health. Like I said earlier, there's not a magic pill. You have to do things in order to work with it. And the the thing is, number one, if you're a smoker, do whatever you need to do to quit smoking. If you need assistance, talk to your provider. There's all kinds of programs that's available in order for you to help quit smoking, because um, the smoking affects all parts of your body. It doesn't. It's not just lung cancer, but bladder cancer, breast cancer, also pulmonary, which I mean lung disease, chronic lung disease, different things like that. Also, it affects your circulation. You end up with poor circulation, and if you have diabetes, 9 times out of 10, diabetes does not come by itself. All right. When you have type 2 diabetes, I'm talking about type 2 diabetes. That's the one that 90% of the people have. With type 2 diabetes, what happens, it does not come alone. You start out with high blood pressure. You can have high cholesterol, and the high cholesterol affects your blood vessels. And when it affects your blood vessels, that's how you end up having problems with the circulation to your kidneys, to your eyes, to your legs, to all of that. And that's how you end up having problems with your vision, with your kidneys, with your circulation. So that's why you want to make sure that things are taken care of, that you are doing everything that you can do in order to keep your blood sugars under control, in order to make sure your blood pressures are under control, to make sure that your cholesterol is under control. One of the easiest ways to do that, well, a couple of easy ways. If you drink a lot of sodas, you need to cut it out as much as possible. Drink more water. Drink water. That's some of the easiest things you can do. Another thing is get up and get moving. No, you don't have to run a marathon, but if you get up and move about every day, if you can go walking, that's the cheapest thing that you can do. And what that does is exercise your heart, it gets your blood circulating, and that will improve it will do tremendous great things for you. And then also the foods that you eat. I had talked about our habits and our customs. And I had shared with you that I'm from up north. So the way we eat up north was totally different than the way we eat in the south. And then even though we all live in the United States, different regions have different food habits. So these foods sometimes can be adversely affecting us. So I'm not telling you to give up your favorite foods, but sometimes we need to experiment and find different ways to prepare them so that they will be healthier for us. All right? And that's another whole presentation all of its own. And then um one of the last things, well, I have two more. One is sleep. You have to make sure that you get enough sleep. That is how the body heals itself. That is how your body resets itself. You must get a good night's sleep. And then stress. Learn how to manage your stress. Do not allow stress to take you over. Stress can cause your blood pressure to go up, can cause your blood sugar to get out of control. It can cause a heart attack. So you want to get your stress under control. Find a way in order to manage it. Yes, we're going to have stress. There's no way about it. As long as we're on this side of the dirt, There's going to be stress in our lives, but we need to learn how to manage how we respond to it. And doing those things, and it doesn't happen overnight, but doing those things can help improve our lifestyle, can help improve our health, can help improve a number of things. So,
Coach Trinette, I dropped the mic. You know, I love dropping mics on nuggets and gems. I'm telling you, you may not tell our listeners what to eat, but let it be on Worth Beingologist. I will tell you what to eat and what not to eat. Number one, you know, all that fried food, it's not good for you. It was maybe coming up when Big Mama didn't know any better, and the flavor was in that fried chicken and pork chops, right? But in life, as we mature, as we get younger, okay, I do not call even our seasoned senior citizens, I don't call them senior citizens. They are, you are, we all are seasoned adults with wisdom and knowledge. So let's act upon it. We can live here on this earth until 100 and something years old, providing we take care of our health. Yes, things are going to happen. Like Coach Trinette said, life happens. But when you know better, you do better, right?
mm-hmm. Yes, definitely.
You do better. Now, another thing that she had mentioned, and it just, I couldn't wait to get back on Facebook with you. How to manage stress. That's another topic, another story, which we do not have time for on today, which she will discuss with you at another time, because she'll be back, you all. She will be back at the gifting table, sitting at the front. And you are welcome to come on anytime, especially if you have an update for us. But we are going to take a break, a commercial break, because we support those who support us. And as Coach Trinette, we are playing on for our listeners on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. I would like for you to talk to our Instagram listeners, and then when the commercial is over, I will be back on the screen and we can wrap up our conversation. So allow me to go to the commercial, and we are going to
So that's what we can do.
That's great. That is awesome. Great tips, great gems that you had dropped. And we would like for our listeners to know, how can they get in touch with you? What is your website? Let's start with the website and then we'll go on to a contact phone
Okay.
number, the easiest way, then social media.
Yeah. The best way to get in touch with me, well, my website is totallyaboutdiabetes.com. Totallyaboutdiabetes.com. And that's where you'll find a lot of my information. And then also on Facebook. One of the best ways to get in touch with me on Facebook is by direct messenger, by face on Totally About Diabetes, or by my name, Trinette Stanford. And then also on Instagram, Totally About Diabetes LLC, and
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, and it's under my name, Trinette Stanford. So those are the best ways to get in touch with me. You can direct message me, and I will get back with you. Be patient with me, but I will contact you. So, what I have coming up, I am offering my membership program. And what the membership does is a way to work in a group, in a group setting, and implementing lifestyle behavior changes. And the key about the group, like I said, I like where people can understand what I'm talking about. So it's an opportunity to make sure you have clarity in what's going on. Then also, you set whatever your goal is, whatever you want to work on. That's what we'll work on. It's it's a group course, but it's also individualized, if that makes sense,
Yes.
because it won't do any good for me to work on, say, nutrition, and your biggest issue is I'm having trouble sleeping. So whatever area you're having problems with, there's 5 pillars I teach. And so we can concentrate on those pillars for you. And what else? What else? What else? The
You're
the other
writing a
thing,
book. You're writing a
I'm
book.
writing a book. Yes, I am. And I stay on course. It should be done in April. And so that will be another way in order to get some information. But like I said, oh, the other key is, if you have a provider and you're not sure what has happened or what has transpired, if you have lab work that you're not understanding what's going on, we can talk. And what you can do is um, make an appointment and on my schedule, and it's TrinetteStanford.info, TrinetteStanford.info, and that will bring up my calendar and we can chat. And that will give you a 15-minute discussion, and use that 15 minutes wisely. if you if you have lab work, if you having some issues with your provider, or you have questions that you need asked, you got 15 minutes in order to work with, okay? And then we can direct you from there. But
Awesome.
um in like I said, in summary, what I would always encourage you to do, keep track of your numbers. Make sure you write them down, and then take them in to your provider and talk about them. Let them know what is going on, because it can be a simple fix or it can be something that needs to be looked at even further. But always be transparent with your provider, because they cannot help you if you're not honest with them. Okay.
So, so true. Thank you again. And Coach Trinette will post all of her contact information in not only just Facebook, but she will also do it in the other social media, IG, you will have her contact information as well. But how can you forget this beautiful face of Coach Trinette? We truly, truly appreciate your time, your efforts, everything that you have done and continue to do to help individuals through your gifts, your talents, and just the love for people, servant, being that servant that you were assigned and appointed to be. Thank you again. We appreciate you. And we thank each and every one of you that are on Instagram. You could have been anywhere else, but we thank
Mhm.
you for stopping by and spending your early evening with Coach Trinette Stanford and myself, the Worth Beingologist. And those on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, we appreciate you as well. Yes, and those that will be watching the replay, hashtag replay. Because
Yes.
you know what we do? We don't forget about you. We circle back and look at the new comments that come in. And they do come in. Oh my goodness, they do. And we comment, we engage. We love to engage with you. So if you do not have a question now, you may watch the replay and say, oh, by the way, let me contact Coach Trinette Stanford. She's easy to find.
Yeah.
And you can find her. If you just Google the name Trinette Stanford, she'll pop up. But remember, totally about diabetes. She's the one. She goes above and beyond what your doctors, other nurses will ever do for you. She can be trusted.
Thank you.
So we're going to sign off. Coach Trinette, do you have anything else to say before we sign off and let our IG family go for now?
Now, Suma, I just want to thank everyone for your time and for your effort for being here. And like Miss Linda said, you could have been anywhere else, but you took the time in order to listen, and that I'm really appreciative. And yes, you can always get in touch with me. All right, I'm always here.
Okay, IG, you heard it. Go with your notes, get back to her, and we will be talking real soon. And Trinette, you just hold tight while I shut down Instagram, and then I'll be right back.
Okay.
Goodbye, Instagram. Okay, we are done there. And any closing remarks for Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at this point in time?
Well, just like I was talking to Instagram, my goal, my legacy is to help people with the knowledge that I have been blessed with. All right. I retired from clinical practice several years ago. And my relative said, well, why are you still working? And it's because I still saw a need. There's still a need, and I just couldn't sit back and not do anything. So that's why I'm here in order to help people. So you can inbox me, message me, and I will get back with you. So thank you. Thank you for your time.
We thank you for your time, your efforts, and your energy. And we appreciate you so dearly. And you again, you're welcome back to the gifting table anytime that you have time to stop by. Thank you, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And we're signing off for now. Bye bye.
Bye.